What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, the Bad Diggity Dizzle, back with another New York Giants video. And I know the videos are kind of been far and few between. There's not really a lot to talk about here with the New York Giants. Happy Friday, everybody out there. TGIF. The weekend is upon us. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are in the description. Of course, I will follow you back. And I know Jeremy Pruitt got signed with the Giants to be a defensive assistant. I don't know. I mean, I didn't want to reach for that. And by the time that I knew anyway, it was kind of old news, so I wasn't really going to make a video on it. All I'm going to say about Jeremy Pruitt is this. Obviously, he was the head coach of a really bad Tennessee team. Tennessee's been bad for a long time in the SEC. And trust me, my man Uncle Lou will tell you how bad Tennessee is all the time. General Voltard, as he calls him, or whatever. But yeah, they've been bad. But I believe that the connection with Alabama, he was a defensive coordinator there in 16 and 17. He was also the defensive coordinator for Georgia the 2 years prior to going to Alabama. So he obviously does have that connection there with Joe Judge and the Alabama thing. I don't think it's a bad hire or anything with Jeremy Pruitt. But, I don't think it's a monumental hiring either. So it's really all my opinion on Jeremy Pruitt there. Just not, like I said, nothing earth-shaking there. Nothing groundbreaking or earth-shaking there as far as a hire goes. But we'll see what he does. Well, free agent targets are New York Giants. We talked about Shaquille Barrett in my last video. Shaquille Barrett's going to cost a lot of money. The Giants probably can't afford Shaquille Barrett and Leonard Williams. Now, of course, we have to see what the Giants do with the cap space. There's a lot of things that we can do with the cap. We're going to have to look at the cuts. We're going to have to look at restructures. There's just a lot of things. Again, all these teams are dealing with a cut in the cap. Normally, you get 10% more every year, and there is talk about it going to $175 million. Really don't know where that cap's going to be, but it's not going to be $220 million, and it's not going to be $198 million, which was last year. A guy that's been linked to the Giants, or at least talked about, rumored to be going to the Giants, a guy that would make a lot of sense, Hassan Reddick. Now, a lot of you guys know Hassan Reddick. Never heard of Hassan Reddick before. I mean, I know who he was. He's a first-round pick by the Cardinals. Never lived up to expectations. I believe he had 7 career sacks his first 3 years in the league. Never really paid attention. Never really knew much about Hassan Reddick. Giants fans, we got a good look at Hassan Reddick when we played the Cardinals. 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. He had 12.5 sacks this year. He's a New Jersey kid, so he's a local product. This guy would make a lot of sense for the New York Giants. Yeah, Shaquille Barrett, pipe dream. His market value is $19 million, and again, they're not going to be able to sign both him and Leonard Williams. Again, I just think that Leonard Williams, if you're going to sign one defensive guy, and I know we all want an edge rusher, I get it, and I know that people have said Leonard Williams' sacks came on coverage, sacks. No, listen, man, let's not diminish what Leonard Williams did this year. Leonard Williams had a very good year. In their game against Seattle, he dominated Russell Wilson, okay? That's pretty impressive, right? That was a pretty impressive performance. He had 11.5 sacks, and he had a lot of quarterback hits, and he was very good against the run. He had a lot of tackles for loss. So Leonard Williams did a good job, and he's used to this system, man. He excelled in this system. We know what we're getting with Leonard Williams. We don't know what these other guys are going to be if they come into Patrick Graham's system, although with the way Patrick Graham has worked things, obviously I think anybody would succeed. But Hassan Reddick makes a lot of sense for the New York Giants. His market value is about $11 million. So that's $8 million less than Shaq Barrett. It's almost half. I don't know if they could afford him anyway between him and Leonard Williams. That would obviously be a lot of money. But Hassan Reddick makes a lot more sense. And this is a guy, a 3-4 outside linebacker that could do a lot of good. Obviously, he had, like I said, he had a breakout season. He's a local kid, and we got a good look at what Hassan Reddick could be. We're not going to be able to sign a number 1 top-tier edge rusher. Number 1, they're not usually available. Okay, number 2, we're going to have a hard time affording them if we want to keep Leonard Williams. Maybe the Giants keep Leonard Williams and Dalvin Tomlinson, and maybe they draft an edge rusher in the first round. It's going to be interesting to see what we do in free agency, and obviously that's going to depend, or what we do in the draft will depend on a lot of free agency. Wide receiver 1 is definitely something we need. And speaking of free agency in the draft, I'm going to start doing mock drafts. I'll have my first mock draft out sometime next week, guys. It's early to be doing those things. And there's just not a lot of news. Last year at this time, we were talking about a whole new coaching staff. We were talking about Matt Rule coming in here. We were talking about Eric Bieniemy. We were talking about a lot of candidates coming in here, being able to talk about interviews and talk about hiring Jason Garrett and Patrick Graham and all this other stuff. And we don't have that this year. So there's not much to talk about until we get into free agency and the draft. So obviously the mock draft videos will start soon. And the Giants obviously finished 6-10. and a chance to win the division. Not that that's worthy of winning a division, but they did take some steps forward. And obviously, they're still missing a couple of pieces, usually built through free agency, which is something that Dave Gettleman likes to do. The Giants don't usually make the big splashes in free agency. That's just not what they do. And I don't know if Hassan Reddick would be a splash in free agency, but it would definitely be a huge upgrade from what we have. I don't think they're bringing Kyler Fackrell back, so if you could bring Haason Reddick in here with Leonard Williams, I think that'd be great. I think Haason Reddick would really fit into this system. I think Haason Reddick could definitely excel in this system, and I think the Giants got to find a way to bring somebody like that in here. Now, I know we need a wide receiver number one. And in my opinion, Dave Gettleman, and we'll talk about this when I go to my mock draft, in my opinion, and I've said this before, and I said this a couple weeks ago or whatever. I don't actually remember when I made the video, but that I guarantee Dave Gettleman's going to bring in some wide receivers in here. Now, I mentioned the free agency, but again, I don't know if the Giants can afford a $19 million a year free agent. I want Allen Robinson. Every Giants fan wants an Allen Robinson or a Kenny Golladay. I don't think we can afford one of those. Maybe Corey Davis. The Giants may have to go out and get a second-tier wide receiver, or they may just draft Devontae Smith at number 11 if he's, or I'm sorry, not Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle at number 11 if he's there. We're going to have to see. Again, the free agency, everybody talks about mock drafts, and that's why mock drafts are really tough to do right now, but I'm going to do them anyway, because we don't know what the Giants do in free agency. The free agency comes first. Then you find out the holes that you really want to fill, in your draft. We only have 6 draft picks, which stinks. I wish we had more. We need more. But you do what you can do. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Hassan Reddick, in my opinion, great fit for the New York Giants. We could definitely use that outside pass rusher. It's really the two things we're lacking. This defense was huge improvement this year. Top 10 defense. Leonard Williams had a career season. Xavier McKinney was hurt most of the year. When he came back, he made a big impact. Logan Ryan made a big impact. James Bradbury and Blake Martinez were fantastic this year. A lot of New York Giants excelled this year. Lorenzo Carter was playing pretty well before he got hurt. O'Shane Ximines, we still don't know what we have with these guys, but again, this is just depth. The Giants need depth. There's no doubt about that. But knowing how good this defense is and knowing that if they ever could add an outside rusher like a Hassan Reddick and get a number 2 cornerback, a true number 2 corner, this New York Giants defense could be a top 5 defense. We need to put pieces around Daniel Jones. There's not a doubt in my mind. We have to know, and that's more for Daniel Jones and knowing what he is as far as the future goes. More than anything else. Because you don't want to go into his 4th year thinking, hey, is this the guy? Did we not do enough around him? You don't want to have a question mark going into whether you're going to extend this guy or not. The Giants got to make that decision on Saquon Barkley this year too. But there's no doubt the New York Giants defense could certainly use an upgrade at the edge rusher position. Hassan Reddick is a perfect fit for the New York Giants. I don't know if they can afford him. I don't know if they'll go look at him. But if we're going to sign an edge rusher in free agency, this guy, to me, makes the most sense, and we'll see what happens. But I would go out. I would definitely throw some money at Hassan Reddick. I would try to get him in here again. Shaquille Barrett, obviously, is the great name you want. Yannick Ngakoue is another one that has been linked to the New York Giants. But again, those guys are going to command big salaries. Hassan Reddick isn't going to command as much. So maybe the Giants bring him in. I would like Hassan Reddick in a New York Giants uniform. Let me know what you think in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and enjoy your weekend. Till next time, it's a Bad Diggity Dizzle, and I am gone. Peace!